Earlier in the day, we spoke to Marlon Moraes. Now it's time to speak to Jimmie Rivera and get his side of this saga. Let's welcome Jimmie Rivera back to the program. There he is. Jimmie Rivera is here. Jimmy, how are you?
What's up? How you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry for... Oh, hello.
No, you scared? Go. Can you shut the door for me, please, sweetheart? Thank you. What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. I appreciate your patience. It's good to have you.
It's all right.
Where are you right now? You're at work?
I'm always, man, when I'm not fighting or training, I'm working. Of course I'm at work.
Well, I appreciate you doing this. So earlier in the program, we had Marlon Moraes on. This has turned into quite the back and forth, quite the saga. I think where I want to start, though, is I want to start Christmas Eve. You're in the airport.
Yeah.
You're about to head out to Vegas, right, for 219.
I was glad that you wanted to start there because I want to start it from the beginning, from where everything first happened with the whole Lineker was hurt. I don't realize, and it was funny because I did my 1/3 of my Christmas yesterday. So I got 2/3 left, obviously. So I did 1/3 of my Christmas because I didn't see my family. And now it's scattered because, it's back in January. People are busy. So setting up my other times to see my other family. And my cousin didn't realize what goes on for a negotiation for a fight. And I'm like, I don't think people realize that before a fight's even agreed upon, the management of both fighters agree on the fight, and then we get a contract. That's how it works. So everything's always talking, and it's basically relaying messages. Sean Shelby is the middleman, and he's relaying messages back and forth and giving the options of what's going on. So Christmas Eve, I'm at the airport, and I find out Lineker's hurt. He's out of the fight. I'm like, shit. I'm like, well, I'm cutting weight. Let me just go there anyway. We'll figure out a replacement and see what we could do. I land. I'm talking to my manager. I have 5 guys that want to fight me. 5 guys. But I'm only allowed to fight 2 guys, and I get 3 options. My 3 options are fight John Dodson, fight Marlon, and I believe at that time it was a catch weight at 140, or fight Marlon January 20th. So we're like, all right, well, Dodson lost to Lineker and lost to Marlon. It's not really going to help me get closer to the belt. He's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. Let's go with Marlon then. So we're like, all right, he said 140. We told him 138. And this was already, because this is a time difference, and I'm in Vegas. So we leave at 138, and my manager takes care of it. I wake up in the morning, and literally Christmas Day was all back and forth about weights, what it was. So we go 138. Then we go 140. Because I saw the tweet, what he put up on Sunday night, saying that he wants to fight. And basically, there's no backing up. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to back up now. I mean, they need a replacement. Let's do something. And the next day, he comes out with a tweet about his terms. So when Sean's talking to us, my manager, it's all about weight. So we're like, all right, well, he wants to fight, so we'll figure out a weight. So we're like, all right, not 138, so we'll go 140. And I'm like, they say no. I'm like, does this guy want to fight, or I don't get it? So we go 145 then. If you really want to fight, 145. I'm not even going to have to take go in the sauna or do a salt bath. I'm going to make weight like that and be fine. So we'll do it 145. So that was 6 o'clock. I'm sorry. That was 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So we're like, listen, you got to let us know in like 3 hours. By 9 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time, we need to know because my coach and his fiance are coming out Tuesday morning. My other coach, his wife, and his 3 kids are coming out. We need to know if we're fighting or not, what's going on. So we found out 9:30 East Coast here that no, he's not going to take the fight at 145. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 145. And just stop cutting weight. And we're like, okay. All right. So I stopped cutting weight. And the next day we're talking and I'm like, all right, well, what about the 20th? You know what I mean? Say, do something. I train for a camp. Let's figure something out. You said Marlon would fight on the 20th. Let's do the 20th. So we say yes to that too. And Sean comes back, whether it was the next day or hours later, like, no, they don't want the fight on the 20th. So everything I put on Twitter was from my manager saying, listen, put this up. This is what you're offering. Let's keep it clear. Let's be honest, because I'm not going to lie about anything. And, because people were saying this and that. I'm like, yeah, 5 guys wanted to fight me, but I was only allowed to fight 2 guys. And I had 3 choices with the 2 guys. You know what I mean? So some of my family's coming out, my friends are coming out. So I stayed there. I didn't want to be selfish and just leave and come home while they're still going to come out for the fight. Spend time with them. We spend New Year's with them. We get home, and we're trying to figure out if I could still fight on the 20th card. Let's see what opponents Sean gives me. And I told Lloyd, but I guess he didn't realize it, and my manager, and there was a miscommunication that I'm still going on my honeymoon in February. I have a honeymoon book that I rescheduled twice and not going to reschedule a third time. So they come back with me with 3 names. They come back with Pedro Munoz, who I fought already, Cody Stateman, and Brett Johns.
Yeah.
Brett Johns was the guy who was a calf slicer. So I fought Pedro already. And then literally either hours later or the next day, you get a text back. Those 2 other guys, one's hurt and one can't make weight. I'm like, okay. He's like, speak to Hunter, who's the VP of UFC, about some reimbursement. Because I had to do a 3-month camp that I paid for. I had to do reschedule my honeymoon, and you don't get money back for that.
Yeah.
And I had flights that I flew out for my mom and some of my family that I paid for because this is my family. They want to be there. If they can't afford it, I'm like, all right, I'm coming out of my pocket for it. So figure out some reimbursement, whatever it could be. You know what I mean? So he said, speak to Hunter about it. I said, okay. You know what I mean? Trying to keep this short, but this is over a 3-week span. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the next thing we get was actually, we see a tweet from Cody. My wife sees it, and we're like, because I was plowing that day. We had a snowstorm here Thursday, and I'm like, oh, he's healthy. I'm like, let's figure out a fight. So my manager, right after I put out a tweet, my manager texts Sean, speaks to Sean, and says, what's going on with Cody? Let's set up something going forward in the future. And he was like, Cody and Asante was supposed to fight, but Asante was hurt, and Cody's hand, I don't know what's going on. We'll get back to you. And we're like, okay. I'm like, well, hopefully we can plan something in the future and make something happen. And the next thing I see Saturdays, I'm sitting down and getting dinner, and I get an email about a fight contract with me and Marlon at the end of February. And there's an agreement for me and an agreement from him. And I'm like, I call Lloyd and my manager. I'm like, trying to figure out what's going on. But he's talking to Hunter at the same time, the VP. And he didn't get back to me until like an hour later. And basically said that there is an agreement now to fight at the end of February. This is your choice to fight. And I was confused about it because anytime we set up fights, like I said at the beginning, when we set up fights, both managements agree, and then the contracts are sent out. That didn't happen in this purpose. They got them to agree, and I was in the dark, and then I was sent an agreement to fight February 24th. And I was like, what is this? I'm like, don't they know that I'm going on my honeymoon? Then they know, like, all right, I'm not fighting. We're like, I'm going to enjoy time with my family. So when that came, I was surprised. I had no idea what to say. I was like, all right. So I'm like, well, speak to them. Let them know. Let me figure out what's going on. And, let's see if I could get, some reimbursement going on. And then we could figure out about the Marlon fight. They're like, no, there's no reimbursement. This is the fight. If you want to take the fight. And that's it. And I talked to my coach, and I said, I'm not ready to reschedule my honeymoon a third time. I'm not ready not to see my family anymore because, he got to enjoy his time with his family and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. I didn't get any of that, even my New Year's. So I was like, all right, well, there's no reimbursement from the UFC. They want me to do this fight, and I feel like it wasn't really handled like we've done numerous times in the past where both people agree. We talk about it for a couple of days, and we figure out what's going on. And boom, we're like, all right, yes and yes. They send the contracts out, and we sign them. So I'm like, I'm not doing the fight. You know what I mean? I'm not doing the fight at the end of the day. He wanted to fight. He said the 30th. I gave him 3 different weight classes. Then the option that Sean gave us was the 20th. We said yes to that. So he said yes on 4 different occasions, and they said no. So I need to kind of take a step back, not lose other money that I'd already lost, not cancel a vacation, a honeymoon that it's paid for already and we're set to go, and we reschedule it twice. I understand. I was talking about this yesterday. If I reschedule it one time, I made the effort. I rescheduled it one time. Then, I'll reschedule this one time and we'll fight or something like that. But I did it twice already, and I'm not prepared to do a third time. And I'm going back. I'm like, I gave him option to fight me now. Now he said no 4 times. All right, well, I'm gonna go forward, and I think I've earned it. I've fought top people, and I'm 5-0 in the UFC at the bantamweight division. And the only person that's done better than me is at a different weight class, which is Khabib, who's a terror, who's, was 22, 23-0 right now, and deserves a title shot. And that's what he's getting. And, I think I earned it. I never asked for anything, you know what I mean? And every time the UFC came up with a fight, they literally that was one of the things. I was listening to Jared Gordon, and I'm like, man, that guy can't have a crazy past. So then I listened to everything you had going on today, and then it was funny to hear that I pick and choose fights, which was hilarious to hear that, because I don't. I'm like, Marcus Brimage, you're lucky if you get 2 opponents to pick from, or 3. I fought Marcus Brimage, and that was a last-minute replacement. Didn't pick that. Pedro Munoz, they said fight in Brazil. Didn't pick that. Then they actually gave me 3 people, and you're like, you could pick from the 3 people. And the top person was Yuri Alcantara. And the only way I was going to be able to fight ranked people was by fighting Yuri to get in the rankings, because he was in the top from 10 to 15. It was the top 15, you want to say. So I fight Yuri Alcantara. Then the next fight was Faber. They gave me 4 people. They gave me, I think it was Dotson, Johnny Eduardo, Sterling, or Uriah Faber. I'm like, why wouldn't I fight the best person? Why would I fight the other guys? That's how the Faber fight happened. Then the Almeida fight, they wanted me to fight in Brazil on 5 weeks' notice. And I said, all right, so you're not going to give me a full training camp. Actually, 4 weeks, because the last week is traveling. You travel, you cut weight. So it's only 4 weeks' notice. So I said, no problem. Give me some extra money. I have to pay for my wife to go out, my mother to go out. It's not cheap to fight to Brazil. I needed something a little bit. So they didn't want to do that. So I said, all right, no problem. I can't take the fight. Then they came back weeks later and said, listen, you could fight Almeida in Long Island. And I said, okay, I'll take the fight. We'll fight. And that's what we did. And then I was scheduled to fight Dom, and Dom got hurt. And because that was it. He called me back. Dom Cruz wants to take the fight. I'm like, all right, we're down. Let's take the fight. And from there, he got hurt. And we were going to say wait for it, but they renegotiated a contract, and it was a good contract. And we said, all right, we want to be team players. I'm not ever against the UFC. They don't want to reimburse me. Well, guess what? I'm not mad. It is what it is. It's a business at the end of the day. I understand. I'm just going to have to work extra and make some money so I could support myself, my family, and stuff like that. So that happened. They renegotiated contract. Okay. Then they gave me 2 guys to fight. I picked the best guy, and I gave him 4 opportunities. They said no. Now they want me to fight again, that guy. And what kind of, the only thing that upset me is that it's on Marlon's terms to fight. It's not if I could have the time I could fight. I'm like, I've rescheduled a lot already for the UFC. I've done a lot. I gave them a lot. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, the only thing I asked for is to fight the best. I'm not saying Marlon's not the best, but there's guys in front of me that I want to fight, and I want to be champ. And if I'm not going to get reimbursed, if they're not going to put it in writing that I get a title shot next, then I'm not guaranteed I get a title shot next with Marlon. With Cody or Dominic, that's a guarantee. They're former champs. They haven't fought. I beat a former champ. That's guaranteed title shot next. That's a number 1 contender fight when we saw it with Dom or Cody. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I never thought I would say this, speaking to my wife about this and, my uncle and stuff like that. But there's a lot of fake news fighters put on Twitter where it goes from Marlon say he wants to take a fight and he doesn't want to take a fight. Where Assunção goes, well, what about me? And like, Assunção, why are you even tweeting right now? You're hurt. To Dom, that's gone right now, and he's just getting back in, and he's not ready supposedly till April or May. To Cody saying, I'm healthy, and, saying he wants to fight, and he's going to clean up the division, and I tweet back, but he isn't healthy. He's hurt. So Assunção's hurt. Dom's just getting back in. He's not ready till April or May. And Cody's hurt. So then only person's a champ, but he's going to fight Johnson. So I understand. I can't fight him. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy time with my family. And I'm going to catch up on the holidays, everything I missed. And I'm going to go on my honeymoon with my wife and enjoy some time for myself.
When is the honeymoon, by the way?
We rescheduled. So end of October, beginning of November. We all agreed it wasn't a good idea for me to leave for 10 days.
Yeah.
While I'm going to set up to fight Dominic Cruz. That's a serious fight right there, you know, or any person's serious fight. So we rescheduled it for the second week in February to go away.
Okay. And so
because January would be busy with work.
Yeah.
So we did it the second week in February. So this way I would be able to take a little step back and be like, miss a couple days, miss a week in work, and everything will be okay, because January and September are like the busiest times.
So things kind of went a little nutty, as you said, on Saturday, because you get this email with the contract, but he also gets it and he puts it out on Twitter and says, you know, here you go, nowhere to run, and some choice words here and there. Do you feel like you're kind of being pressured into taking this fight now? Like, how did it get to the point where a contract is being sent out to a date that you never agreed to, and it's being put out there in the public?
Well, my explanation from it, when we got it from the UFC, was like, they wanted to get a guaranteed yes about it, that he would take the fight, because he said no already so many times.
Okay.
So they want to get a guaranteed yes, and then give me this and say, here you go. And sorry, I apologize. You still see me?
There you go.
All right, I apologize. So to get a guarantee yes, I'm like, but you guys didn't talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll take the blame, because I'll take the blame from my manager, because I thought he told Sean, like, I'm going on my honeymoon in February. We can't reschedule again. I can't lose any more money. I lost money already as it is. A 3-month fight camp, and nothing happens. 20 if nothing happens. Okay, and I can't lose any more money from it. Hey, you still see me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just freezes for a second, I guess, when someone's calling, and then you're back.
I apologize. Yeah, you know what happens is that when the phone rings, it goes to my cell phone, and if they don't pick it up,
problem.
So she just picked it up. I apologize.
No problem.
So yeah, that's it. So you know, I don't lie about anything, and I don't pick and choose and stuff like that. So it was nice to, like, when I talked to you this weekend, to get out and air this out.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth. Like, people don't realize there's a lot that goes into making fights and stuff like that. And there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that people don't know. And this is everything that happened behind the scenes. There's not one thing that I said that did not happen. Everything I said did happen. And this is everything that we've been dealing with since Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? So I have, you know, this is everything off my chest. I have nothing else to say. That's it.
Are you okay with the way this has been handled from the UFC's perspective? I know you said that, you know, you're a company guy and all this stuff, but are you at peace with the way this has been handled?
Which part?
I mean, look.
Name a part. Being reimbursed? Yes, I'm okay. It is what it is. I go with the flow. How they did the Marlon fight, I understand on their perspective about it. I wish there was a better communication, because there wasn't. So I didn't. That's the one day I'm like a little like, you know, it's kind of. I understand what they're saying, but still, like, you're not going to give us any heads up, because the last conversation we had with the UFC was Thursday about fighting Cody. That was the last conversation we had. And from there, I was like, all right. Yeah. And now all of a sudden this. So I'm like, I don't get it.
Okay, so it sounds like you are okay. Like there's no hard feelings here. You just have to figure out.
No, I'm not going to hold any hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold any hard feelings at all. It's a business, and they got to run a business. And that's it. I just, you know, I'm going to take my time now, and I'm going to go, you know, finish up Christmas. Got a couple more weekends to see other parts of family, because now it's not like everybody has off at one time. I have to find out when people are off, and we have the next Sunday's booked. And then I'm going to go on my honeymoon and enjoy some warm weather. We were supposed to go in November to Costa Rica. We're going in February. We're going to get some warm weather and enjoy it. My wife and I, after 2 years.
Have you or your management expressed this to the UFC? Because like 2 hours ago, Marlon's on. He's like, yeah, he's taking the fight. We're fighting in Orlando. It's all good. Does the UFC know this?
I think now they know.
Okay. And how did they react to that?
From this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So you don't know.
I don't know. Lloyd hasn't called me. Lloyd, my manager hasn't called me. Honestly, I don't know. Hold on, I'm sorry, man.
That's all good. We can still hear your voice, so it's not.
I apologize. Oh, you can still hear me.
Yeah, we can still hear you. Just the picture freezes and now it's back.
Okay.
I
have it live right now. I have it live right now. So this way, because you're not seeing just the top of my forehead.
Yeah.
I can see that you see my face. So it's good. You know what
I know. The framing is perfect. No, it wasn't that I didn't tell you. It's New York Rick in the bag. He's slacking off. I don't know. He's supposed to tell you these things. Sometimes on air, I don't want to do it. But you're right. I left you hanging on that one. No, you look great here. You got the picture on top of you. What does it say over there? Your top right. It says your body.
No, it says take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.
Okay.
We have like inspirational quotes and then pictures and stuff of myself and all the other fighters and stuff like that. So people get to see what else Tiger Showman offers.
Sure.
I mean, we're excited. We just signed another guy to the UFC, Julio Arce and Shane Burgos. That was one of the reasons why we wanted to get on the 20th card, because we got Shane Burgos and Julio Arce on the card, and Julio just got signed, and Shane's on his 4th fight, going into his 2nd year in the UFC. So, big things for Tiger Showman. So, it's really cool that we train. We don't really go, we cross-train with a couple of people, and it's really cool to see all this coming together, the hard work coming together. People are doing well. But yeah, so that's it. That's everything that's happened.
So when would you like to fight? When would you like to fight? Oh, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
I don't. Oh no, I know. I saw Marlon what he was saying, and I saw him that he was like, oh, he's going to make a big announcement. I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking. We're not fighting. I'm like, I gave you a chance. Now it's time to better things. And it's funny. Like, I'm not trying to run from him, because I will have to fight him one day, but I'm going to fight him when I'm defending the belt, and he's a contender. That's for sure. Okay. You know what I mean? Unless he gets up there and the number 1 ranked guy, that's something a little different. But right now, I need the fight that's going to help me, the best business move for Jimmie Rivera. You know what I mean? And I know fans, some people are going to be. I follow Twitter. When I follow people's replies on Twitter, when he put out that tweet, it was like a little 50-50. Like, people wanted to see the fight, but a lot of people said, you had your shot. We want to see him and Cody fight. And, go back and forth. I haven't checked since then how this is going to pan out with speaking to you and speaking to someone else about this. So I kind of see what people are going to, say about it. I know people say, oh, he's scared. No, I mean, that's one day it'll come out. But you can't be in this business and be scared. You know what I mean? But you have to make the right business move that's going to help you get to the belt. And I've told people before, and I've told you this before, I'm not in the UFC to be a UFC fighter. I'm in it to be the champ. I'm 5-0 right now. There's no one in the division that's 5-0. So I think I've earned my way to the top. I didn't pick and choose fights. I got what was handed to me, and we picked the best person from there. So at each time it was handed, when I explained it, from Marcus Brimage all the way up to Thomas Almeida.
So the Marlon train has left the station. This is not happening anymore. It's done.
Done. Yeah, done.
When do you want to fight again? Given the honeymoon coming up and the time that you need to prepare for a fight. In a perfect world, when do you want to fight?
Ariel, I have to see what the UFC says to me. Okay. That's it. And that's really, I have nothing. I can't say a pinpoint date or this or that. I have to see what they say to me and come back with. But right now, as I don't, it's no to the fight. I am focused on my family and my honeymoon finally, and taking some time for myself, since he got to enjoy time with his family. Everybody else did for the holidays. Got to enjoy Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to get back the time I miss right now. And, and like I said, I know I'm not asking for it, but I think I earned to fight either Dom or Cody. And if we have to wait till Dom comes back, because that was the original fight, then we'll take that fight. We played ball with UFC, and we wanted to be a company man, and we understood they wanted me on the card, and I understood. So we're like, all right, we'll figure something out. We did. We tried to figure something else out, and we tried to. It didn't work out. So the original opponent was Dominic Cruz, and if I have to wait for it, then I'll wait for it.
Are you hoping that this? You're not like a big trash talking kind of guy, causing a lot of work. But like this,
I would never. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if you're hoping.
No,
okay, please.
No, keep going.
When this happened on Christmas, as I mentioned to Marlon, like his manager Ali got involved, and there's some words and things like that. Like, are you hoping this all goes away? Why is this getting ugly? Why is this getting so personal? Why does it feel like it's like this combustible situation between you two and his management?
I don't think it actually is.
Okay.
I think a lot of it has to do with his manager. Listen, when I put out that tweet, it got a lot of hype with the Cody fight. It was Cody and I. It got a lot of hype. And Ali manages, so a lot of people don't know is Ali is a manager. He manages Marlon and Cody.
Yeah.
Marlon's getting up there, but Cody's his golden boy. And I understand he wants to protect him from me because I'm the dark horse of the division. So I understand where they're trying to push this stuff and why he's trying to do it. But at the end of the day, I know Marlon and I train with him. He is a very nice guy, a very humble guy. And anything he says, a lot of times, because I get it too from my teammates and stuff like that. It's from other people's mouths going into his ear. And I think when he put out that tweet about fighting me in December 30th and talked about the 20th as well, he didn't think I was going to say yes. And I said yeah. And I even gave him 10 pounds. And I think it wasn't really him, it was his manager. And we'd had problems already with his manager. I mean, I know already the incident we had when I went to go pick up my fighter kit and him calling my wife a bitch. And then him putting out that tweet, which Marlon didn't put out, he put out, calling me a bitch, which is, it's fine. I mean, like, you can say whatever you want, but I don't care about your opinion. The one thing I'm upset for, and I'm still waiting for it because it was told to me that the UFC is going to do something. Sean said he is going to do something for him calling my wife a bitch, because I would never call his wife. Even though he said it to my wife, you don't hear me saying it back at all. I would never disrespect someone's wife. You just don't do that. And I'm still waiting to see what they're going to do about that, but I haven't heard a thing, and it's been a couple weeks now. So at the end of the day, I'm like, it is what it is. I'm walking away from it. I'm not going to be the one that goes, that they start barking and I'm going to start bark back. I'm like, no, I'm going to lay out the facts. This is what happened. And these are my choices. And this is why I made these choices. And that's it. And when the choices come together, it's not just me. It's three people. It's me, my manager, and my coach. We sit down. And a lot of times my manager, my coach, they tell me what to do. And I say, okay. And that's it. I am, a humble guy at the end. Even when Cruz got hurt, there's a couple tweets that came out that, one of my teammates, like, you need to start to trash talk. And he said something. I'm like, you know what? That's not me. And I couldn't take it back because it was already out. But I'm like, I'm going to do me. Me is being a humble fighter. You can say whatever you want, but I will call someone out like I did Dominic Cruz and like I did Cody in a humble way. And be like, hey, man, let's take the fight. And, when I called out Dom, he had a smart-ass remark when I was in the cage. I couldn't hear what he said. But I know what I said was I came up to him like, hey, man, no disrespect, but, let's fight. Let's do it, and then a couple weeks later, the fight was actually made. So that's how I'm going to be at the end of the day. And no matter what, people are going to love or hate me. And that's fine. I will always be thankful for either or, because they're still going to watch you fight, whether they love or hate you. They're either going to watch you get your ass beat or try to get your butt beat, or they're going to watch me kick someone's ass and my hands raised. So I'm fine with it. At the end of the day, these are the choices that I made, and this is where we came to agreement. This is what we're going to do.
Last thing on the Ali thing, I believe that he believes that you have referred to him as a terrorist. Is that true? Is that where this all started? His beef with you? Did that happen?
Never. What happened was I retweeted an article and I got in trouble for it. This is way back when, where it was an article. It's called "Rat in the Cage." And I was talking about him and his background, his life, what was going on, and I think that's where it started with him. And with Marlon, you asked him, "What's the rivalry from? Why is he so upset?" And I think at one point I didn't know why he was so upset, like, because the way he called me out a couple fights ago. I was like, why is he, acting like this? I didn't know. And my wife was like, well, don't you remember what you said? And I'm like, no, I don't remember what I said. This is why you have wives, because they remind you of things. And it was about World Series of Fighting. that I was a little upset because I had 3 belts from three different organizations, won them, defended them, vacated them to move on to the next thing. And he came in from World Series of Fighting, not getting a top 15 opponent, not getting a top 10 opponent, but he got a top 5 opponent. He got the fight at Sansa, who was ranked 3 or 4 at the time. And I'm like, damn, man, I worked my ass up all the way up here. And I'm like, World Series, there's nowhere they could, they're not even World Series anymore. How do they compare to UFC? How could someone like this get a top-ranked guy where someone like me had to work up from the bottom and go all the way up there? So I said stuff like that, and I said, it wasn't fair. And I think that brought some emotions to him. And then it could have been the article of what happened with his manager that I retweeted. You know what I mean? It's fine. I can't really do anything about it. It is what it is. I put a tweet about it, but he can hold a grudge as much as I won't. I will never hold a grudge. I'll let it be, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? I wasn't even going to bring up the thing that happened. That happened when I was picking my fighter kit, but I know you know the story, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but you brought it up, so I was like, "Oh, well, this."
Whoa! I didn't bring it up. What are you talking about? I didn't bring up that story. What are you saying?
Nah, you feeded it. Listen, I know how.
Listen, there's tweets where he's calling you. He's calling you. I mean, it's out there. I see it. Listen. I know he doesn't think that he called you your wife that. He denies that as well. I don't know. It's turned into a saga, and I think
that is not a denial. That's funny. It's not a denial. They came up to the UFC afterwards, Heidi, Dean, and I forgot the other guy's name. They're like, "Are you okay?" This and that. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm like, "I'm just picking up my kit." I don't say anything. He starts arguing with me, but then he says, "I'm not talking to you, bitch." I'm like, "That's my wife, man. You don't say that. I don't care. Whatever's going on, you know what I mean? You keep it between you and I. You don't incorporate my wife about it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not right. So it is what it is. Nothing has been done yet. Nothing probably will be done, and that's the shit I have to live with. So.
Well, I'm sorry it all happened this way. I'm sorry you didn't get the fight at 219. I was really looking forward to the Dominic Cruz fight and then the John Lineker fight. And then, of course, Marlon
2017 wasn't the best year. 2017 wasn't the best year. I had Caraway pull out, Dominic pull out, and Lineker pull out all in 1 year. So it was a rough year. Maybe 2018 will be better. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you're still on that winning streak, though. And you're knocking at that door. So
you're trying to end on a high note, huh?
Well, yes. I mean, you're still, you haven't lost in the UFC, so that's an important little, distinction. But I appreciate you coming on and explaining all of this. I know it probably wasn't a very, with the on Saturday night and all this stuff blowing up wasn't a very, positive thing, and it hasn't been the easiest 3 weeks. But I appreciate you coming on. Enjoy.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I'm just saying you have to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This is the sport we're into nowadays, and this is what happens and what people don't realize that happens behind the scenes. And they're saying he said, she said, but no, this is everything that happens from point A to point Z, and that's it. And now I got to kind of make the right business choice for Jimmie Rivera, and me and my management and my coaches have to sit down and make what's the right thing and what's the best option for me to get closer with the belt, and for me to, just get closer with the belt and get that title shot.
Thank you, Jimmie. Enjoy your honeymoon and keep us posted on what's next.
I will. I'll send you a picture from Costa Rica.
Please. Thank you very much. There he is, Jimmie Rivera, one of the top contenders in the UFC's bantamweight division, stopping by and laying it all out for you.